as you being the special guest host, there's a ton of talent on the card. I'm curious here as you sit here with a bunch of fighters. I mean, which fighters do you think can make the biggest impact coming into this card here?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, first of all. And I'm really excited for this card. This card is stacked. And honestly, without, it's kind of hard to single anyone out. I just think whoever is going to bring, like, their A game, composed, coming in smart and grinding it out. I think we're going to see a lot of those fights on the card. So I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for sure. There's definitely a lot of talented fighters, no doubt about it. And Jamie, now you started your career with CFFC. I mean, talk to us a little bit more about that early stage of your career, what your mindset was kind of like, and how you kind of grew as a fighter.
Yeah, so early in my career, I fought my pro debut at CFFC 19. So I hope that doesn't give my age away too much. But yeah, I mean, back then it was, stepping into an organization like Cage Fury was, first of all, an incredible honor. I just felt very privileged to be there. And we talk about this a lot in our gym over at Marquez MMA. It's just really, whether you're stepping on the mats or stepping into the cage, to just have that day one attitude. And that day one attitude, like, for us, is just like, we don't care. You grind it out, you fight, you show up, you work hard, and we don't overthink things. We take risks, and just really having fun and showcasing our talent. So I think back then I just always tried to, and just really developing myself as a fighter. Like I said, just showing up every day. Making all those sacrifices. I'm a single mom as well. So I did all of this as a single parent, really with no support. So yeah, a lot of sacrifices, but it was just, I always believed in myself and believed in what I wanted to do to see how far I could take myself and my career, building myself as a martial artist and as a person. And so, yeah, just again, always, focusing on that mindset. And obviously, you know, when you show up every day and you're consistent and you work really hard and you make those sacrifices, like, you're going to improve. But I think it's most important. What I learned along the way was really focusing on building a solid mindset and like a framework of that structure. Because once you get beyond your amateur career and start, climbing the ranks, and if the UFC is where you want to be, you don't want to wait until you're at that point to start focusing on your mindset. You have to build it now, start it now. So I think that's probably, a big important piece for me as an amateur fighter and growing the sport.
Another thing I was curious about, obviously, you were able to make it into the UFC. You won on Dana White Contender Series. I mean, talk us a bit more about what it was kind of like to achieve the highest level, and more about that.
Sure. Yeah. So um, I fought in Contender Series twice, and which was an interesting journey because I went into that first fight injured. I, talk about that day one mindset and, taking opportunities as they come. I didn't want to not accept the opportunity, but I was about 6 months post-op from my ACL surgery. And going into that fight, though, was incredible. Like, stepping into the octagon was amazing. But to be honest, I wasn't at my best. And I had I was sort of like battling and struggling with, that doubt, not knowing how my body was going to hold up. And I won the fight. I won it injured. I injured my knee, re-injured my knee in the first round of that fight. And so if you go back and watch that fight, I was getting taken down at will. I couldn't like explode off my back leg because I was trying to just trying to end the fight quickly because I knew I was injured. When I realized um, that I knew jujitsu. I forgot that I knew jujitsu. So I started kind of like fighting off my back, and waiting to capitalize on her mistakes. And so I ended up pulling off an arm bar in the last 20 seconds of the third round. Otherwise, I would have lost if I didn't make that mind body connection with my jujitsu. And so, but it was honestly an incredible experience. I hate that I went into it injured, but this goes back to saying, having a strong mindset, like being smart about what you're doing, training, healing, like if you get injured. So I wish I would have listened to that because it set me back about 6 months. Macy Barber, that in of itself was a learning experience because again, I was battling a lot with myself and in my mind, dealing with these injuries, and then, but again, just taking those opportunities, kind of seizing the moment, like really put me at the forefront, and I was on UFC's radar, and stayed on their radar for a while. So, but I ended up after that fight injuring my knee again. It was just kind of like I was on 1 year, off 1 year, on 1 year. But yeah, fighting at the highest level was incredible. Like the experience of itself, UFC takes amazing care of all their fighters. But once you get there, it's like it's very validating. It's very validating when you get that call that they see you and they want you and want to give you that opportunity.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely think that's been awesome to kind of hear about your journey. No doubt about it, Jamie. And now the last thing I want to just ask you before we move on to questions with the fighters here. I mean, what's maybe your final advice out there for all the fighters that are on this card here?
Yeah, man, seize the moment. Like this is, you know, treat every fight like it's like the biggest fight of your career, because that could be the fight that changes your life. So just keep showing up, keep working hard, you know, build your mind, build your body, make those sacrifices because it's all going to pay off. And I promise you, like, this is not for because there's a lot of ups and downs, and I think if you just stay true to yourself and continue to believe in yourself no matter what happens, and just keep the faith, like you're going to go far. There's no way that you can't improve or grow, whether you're winning, you're losing, like you're growing, you're improving. So just just stay the path and have fun, and yeah, seize the moment. I always say that, seize the moment, and just enjoy the ride.
First up, we got Joey Milano. So, I saw your Instagram. You got to go out to Extreme Couture, train with Sean Strickland, Eric, and the boys. What's the biggest thing you took from that experience? Because, training with such high level guys can definitely help you at this stage of your career.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm grateful and lucky enough to be able to train with really good guys all the time. I'm up at Marquez all the time, train with Playfer, train with Nurzultov, like all them dudes. But yeah, I went down to Extreme Couture like a little bit over a year ago. It's a great experience just to meet people and people that are further down the journey than I am. Just cool to be able to relate and get some training with them. So definitely grateful for it.
And I know you mentioned Joe Pyfer and stuff, and it seems like you're pretty tight with him. I saw he was in your corner in one of your fights. So he seems like quite the guy to be around. So you got any crazy stories about him? Because seems like quite the
Uh,
interesting guy.
no, not anything really crazy, but no, we have fun together. We do we go ride some dirt bikes, do some fun shit, but yeah, that's about it.
Next up, we got James Lito. So I'm sure you heard the phrase about, your AMI career being just as much about learning as it is about winning. So I saw you bounce back from your only loss with a finish over an undefeated guy. So, tell me, did you learn more from that fight than any other fight so far? And what do you take from that experience that'll benefit you, not just in your next fight, but, going into your pro career?
Yeah, I mean, things that I learned lessons that were going to come out eventually, and I'm happy that they came out in an amateur fight, but it was a couple things I couldn't ignore that I had to address early now in my career, and I'm glad that they happened, but I'm even happier that I got to prove that I actually learned from them in my next fight after that, which was this past April. So I'm glad that I'm using these fights now to get that experience and learn and get better every time.
We'll go with Gavin here. So I saw that, I looked at your Instagram. I saw you got to train with Team Khabib, Islam. You got to train with, the TriStar team, Coach Zahabi. So compared, that experience between training with Team Khabib and training with the TriStar guys, what were the differences between those experiences that you kind of got to learn from?
They were both great experiences. When I trained with Team Habib, they came out to my gym.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
and they're a super tight group. They're all like brothers, that Team Habib. Like everyone, they all roll together, they all train together. Like someone, has got a bad arm. The other one's, helping stretch his arm out. There's a great group of guys there, and the chemistry is definitely there. And for sure, they push each other. And so I got to spend about a month with Team Habib, but
Nice.
TriStar team, I was probably there about, I think it was about a week. And it was also great training with Zahabi, and GSP was there, and, a lot of high-level talent, great
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu. Definitely, more jiu-jitsu based, and different, practices are ran differently, but great experiences at both ends.
Hey, where's your gym at?
My gym,
Yeah.
Nicatones and Brick is one of my gyms. That's where Habib and Islam were at for about a month.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. And then, other question, about yourself in this fight is, I see, you've kind of you started off undefeated. We kind of got a tough stretch going on. So what would getting back in the win column here do for you mentally, going into the next phase of your career?
Yeah, a win is always what I'm looking for. I know for this fight in 2 weeks, that's what I'm looking to pick up. And I know how to win. I had a couple, skids, couple, bad performances, but I've got back, to train, working hard, learn from my mistakes, and that's, what all the amateur career is about.
Heck
Learn
yeah.
about your mistakes, push yourself, and I'm not taking any easy fights, and that's what I want at this point in my career. So I'm ready to get my hand raised in 2 weeks.
Next up, we got Jack Leto, the other half of the duo. So, I see you're a little newer to the scene compared to your brother. He's got 6 fights or 5 fights. You've got 2 fights, but how much confidence has seeing his success given you, as you progress throughout your career?
Yeah, seeing James having success, it gives me a lot of confidence because we do everything together, and I think we're on similar paths. So just kind of like following his lead and seeing his success, that gives me a lot of confidence that I could have the same kind of success.
We know all about your wrestling background. So you wrestle at Ohio. So, and it's a very common background for a lot of UFC fighters. You see a lot of guys, Bo Nickel, the Justin Gaethjes. So are there any UFC stars that have a similar wrestling background that you kind of, look up to and have inspired you so far on this journey?
I'm not sure. A lot of the guys who wrestle in college kind of abandon their background a little bit.
Yeah.
I know what I'm good at, and that's kind of what I stick to. I really like how Ilya fights with like a strong grappling and boxing background. So that's if I could emulate any fighter, that's who I'd go for. But yeah, a lot of the guys they kind of abandon. I guess Usman, he has a good wrestling background and he still
Yeah.
uses it. So somebody like that maybe.
All right, we got Phoenix coming up next. So Phoenix, I see here's your debut. Not a lot of people get to have a press conference type experience in their debut. It's kind of rare. So how cool is this for you to be a part of all this?
Oh no, it's a great experience. I'm so thankful that Kevin asked me to be a part of this, and I'm very excited for all of it. It's all super exciting to me.
And given that it's your debut, so tell me a little bit about how long have you been training for this, and what made you get into MMA?
I mean, I wrestled all throughout high school, and then I always liked UFC ever since I've been little. Me and my stepdad would always watch it, and I just like fighting. And I started doing jujitsu, and then just started doing more striking classes, and then now I'm here. Yeah.
Thank you. And last up, we got the one and only Olivia. So I see you've been super active this year. It's your third fight, and it's only July. It's some Kevin Holland type streak. So what is it about your daily habits that allow you to stay on track like this?
Um, I have wanted to fight for so long. I wrestled in high school and college, so that kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit. So basically, I'm just every opportunity that comes, I'm taking it because I just want to fight and stay active. Um, 3 times in 7 months has been a lot, but I have great teammates that push me, keep me accountable, keep me in the gym every day. Um, I truly love what I do, so that's a lot of the reason that I can stay consistent every day. I absolutely love getting to the gym and just training hard and working hard, and um, every day I'm just trying to be the best person I can be. So
And then one more question for you. So I saw your first fight was a unanimous decision. Your last fight was a finish. I know firsthand how much cooler it is getting that finish, how much better it feels. So how much more motivated are you to go out there and get the finish again instead of leaving it to the judges?
I mean, I was looking for a finish my first fight. I
Yeah.
was looking for a finish my second fight. I'm always looking for the finish. I'll take
Yeah.
whatever opens up. If I gotta wrestle, if I gotta strike, I'll take whatever I can get. I'm always looking to put on a show. So that's what I'm looking to do on the 26th is put on a show and get her out of there as fast as possible.
Getting back over here to Joey here. So, Joey, you are the main event, but then you posted recently, you're dealing with some health issues and you had to actually pull out of the main event. I mean, talk to us a bit more about what's kind of going on and when can we maybe see you back in action here?
Yeah, for sure. It was a bummer, but I'm big into my faith and I believe that God's timing is perfect, so I'm okay with it. There'll be many other opportunities, but no, I just been dealing with like consistent health problems where I was getting sick and getting infections like back and forth, and I just got a really bad infection on my hand, and my hand was like swollen up like a balloon. So, and I just got over being sick again, so I just like knew like it's not the right timing for me. I really want this fight. I was really excited, but sometimes you don't always get what you want. So I'm okay with it. I'm gonna heal up, and I still haven't trained. I haven't trained in like two weeks, so I'm taking another week off, and then slowly get back into it. But maybe in October sometime. I'd love to be able to get on another CFFC card if they have one. I know they don't do much amateur stuff. But we'll see.
Moving on into James here. So, James, I mean, talk to us a bit more about what kind of got you into fighting here. I mean, talk to us a bit more about how your career has kind of evolved and a little bit more about that.
I wrestled in college, and after my freshman year at Pitt, one of my close friends who was also on the wrestling team had a couple fights in MMA, and he knew a lot of the MMA coaches in the area. So I stopped down, started training some MMA, and after about a month, I took a fight, and it was like the craziest feeling and rush that I could ever imagined, and I've been hooked ever since.
Now, the next question's moving on to the other half of the Leto brothers, Mr. Jack here. So, Jack, I mean, talk to us a bit more about what's it kind of like to share the car with your brother, and I mean, what are the nerves kind of like? Are they amplified now that you're sharing it with your brother?
Well, we actually got the opportunity to be on the same card in April, which is awesome. Uh, I don't know. It might make me a little more nervous. I was more nervous my last fight than for my first one. I don't know if that was because of James or not, but it's awesome. We get our whole family there, and then the best part's celebrating afterwards. I'm looking forward to that, especially because the Litos, we know how to party for sure.
And moving over to Phoenix, I mean, Phoenix, man, I mean, talk to us a bit more about, you've competed a little bit in these grappling tournaments. I mean, what's maybe some of your favorite memories in your grappling experiences?
Well, that's a hard question. I don't know. I just like competing. Competing's fun to me. I just like going out there, showing my skills. Like I work, I would say I work pretty hard. So getting to show what I learn and stuff is fun to me. And I like having people come and watch me. It's fun.
Now, moving over into Gavin here. I mean, Gavin, I actually saw your last fight live, and now I actually thought you were looking pretty good, and I think you have a lot of potential. But you kind of do in the gym for strength and conditioning to kind of be the best version of you.
In terms of strength and conditioning, I actually have a strength coach, Carmine, uh, in Freehold. It was Frankie Edgar actually introduced me to him. So starting my last camp, me and Carmine got together and just been working on my strength and conditioning, right? So because MMA, you can't no stone unturned. So fill in every gap, cardio, strength, just multiple times a week on a regimen, putting the work in, and it'll definitely show for this fight.
When could you maybe see yourself switching over into the pro scene?
Me and my coaches think maybe this might be the last one. I made my AMI debut in AC, and it might end in AC too. In 2 weeks. All my teammates, all my partners for years now have been pros. Like I've been doing, training like a pro since the beginning of my career, 5-minute rounds and training with some of the best guys in the country and in the world. So I'm definitely, right on the brink to making that transition.
Olivia, you've been training MMA since you were 15 years old. You've been wrestling for a little bit. You even have a blue belt in BJJ. I mean, talk to us a bit more about how that's kind of shaped your fighting style.
Yeah, I started with jujitsu when I was like 15 and jujitsu boxing primarily. Um, and I've just been training both ever since. And then late in high school, I found wrestling through the local high school. So I wrestled with them. And I really liked it. So then I went to college and had the opportunity to wrestle in college for a little bit. But since I started the jujitsu, I've always wanted to fight. So I just wasn't old enough for a while. So, um, yeah, I think that the jujitsu and wrestling background definitely helps so much. Like, it's so heavy in the UFC right now. You see so much good wrestling. And I think it's so helpful with this game. And then the striking, I have a great striking coach with Yinzer Boxing. We sharpened everything up when I got out of wrestling. We started working hard on our hands too. And I think it's just made me a well-rounded fighter. So I'm very thankful for all of it.
I got a question for the Lido brothers. What does it mean to be brothers fighting on the same card, and how important would it be for the both of you to win and make a statement for the Lido name in MMA?
It's pretty sick. I'm very excited for it. And watching Jack go out before my last fight was so encouraging and motivating for me and made me perform so much better. And I know he's going to go out there and fight his heart out. So watching that's only going to help me so much. And no matter what happens in the results wise, I know that we're both going to do our absolute best. And to watch him do that before I go out there, I know it's only going to help me. Yeah, it's an awesome opportunity.
Amazing to hear. Jack?
Yeah, you never know how many opportunities you're going to get to fight on the same card with it being so hard to get matchups. But yeah, we're super grateful for this opportunity, and we kind of, like James said, we feed off each other's energy. So if I can go out there and make a statement and fire James up a little bit, that's awesome. And yeah, it's just great spending time with each other, new experience, and then, like I said before, celebrating afterwards.
What's been your toughest fight so far, and why?
I'm gonna have to say probably the one that got submitted 30 seconds left. Probably been my toughest because I don't really know what happened, but it sucks, but it's amateur. Sometimes you get caught in some shit, but it's all right. But it's definitely been toughest fight. Last fight was a pretty good guy too, but yeah, I would definitely say the one in New York was my toughest fight.
Joey, it's definitely unfortunate we won't get to see you fight on July 26th. But you've gotten to train with such a wide variety of fighters, one starting their journey just like you, and those who have made it to the top of the mountain in a couple of organizations. Who are some of the athletes you've drawn inspiration from who have helped you most up to this point in your career?
Number one got to be Bill Algeo, my guy. He's like my coach. He's been there for me since day one. Literally the first time I walked in the gym, I walked into his gym, and me and him just have such a good bond. So he's definitely had the biggest impact. He's definitely changed my life a lot. And then obviously I'm working with Joe Pfeiffer. He's helped me a lot. He does a lot. Him and there's a bunch of guys. But I don't know. I've met and the impacts they had on my life, all in different ways. But yeah.
Phoenix, making the transition into your amateur MMA debut, how important has wrestling and grappling been in your development as an athlete? And what's motivated you to take that big step into fighting?
I mean, it's huge. Like I think Olivia said before, like grappling it's the new like meta in MMA. Like everyone's a grappler, so you gotta have that background and stuff. So it's a huge part, and I'm really excited to make the transition to it. Add some striking in there. I've been training my striking a lot, so my style has been super sharpened, and I'm super excited to show it off.
For Gavin, you've gotten to share the training room with some notable fighters, current, former champions alike. How has surrounding yourself with these elite athletes helped motivate you and fuel your drive to progress as a fighter?
Yeah, it's definitely motivated me, training with some of the best guys in the world. And it gives me confidence, being in the same practices, same rooms, working with those guys. It, gives me confidence that one day, hopefully I could be in the same position as one of them. And, it's always an honor when you get a chance to work with a UFC champ or really anyone, that's made it to the highest level of the sport.
Jack, this is not the first time you've had the privilege of sharing a card with your brother. You guys have spoken a little bit about this journey here. How is it to go through a camp at the same time as your brother? And how important has James been to your journey in combat sports?
Yeah, Well, James is the reason I started fighting. He started fighting before I did, and I saw he liked it and he was good at it, so I decided to start doing it. But this camp, it's kind of unique. We actually got to spend a lot more time training together and spending time together than in the past, because I live at school in Ohio and he's been at Pitt and Lock Haven and at home, so we don't always get to train together. But for this training camp we have, and it's been awesome. He's such a good partner. So I'm just thankful to have him as a brother, training partner, role model. It's awesome. So I'm excited to share the card with him again.
We'll start with Gavin right here. Gavin, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Super hyped for your fight. I can't lie. And one question I have is, I saw they said you were training with Habib and Islam for 302. What was the biggest thing you picked up on for that fight?
Biggest thing that I, picked up on is really like the grappling, holding positions. Everyone knows the Russians, the Dagestanis are, well known for leg lacing and just being able to hold people down, knee pinching. So a lot of little, details I learned throughout that camp that I really haven't seen anywhere else. And those are the best guys, to do it in terms of the grappling. So definitely a lot of, grappling skills working with those guys.
All right, so out of all the notable fighters you've trained with, who was the most humble?
Honestly, everyone, I've trained with a lot of high level guys. I've never met someone that was cocky. Like Habib was like anyone else, Islam, Alex Pereira, Glover, Frankie, like all of them are great guys. Bilal Muhammad, like GSP, they're like anyone else in the gym. They have no ego. They're just respectable. A bunch of these guys will still mop the floors and stuff right after the practice. So I haven't had any bad experiences with any of those guys.
One more question for you. How was this fight camp compared to the others you've been in?
This fight camp, I definitely picked up the sparring. Last fight, I made a couple errors, and we're fixing it this camp. Picked up the sparring, a lot more rounds, and and culture. I've been doing most of my rounds. I got a few really good teammates there, like Mansur Khan. I would say he's the best pro in the state right now, 10-0. Just fought road to the UFC, so he's been a huge partner, sparring partner for me. Richie, Shorty, my coach is there, so we're really stepping in the cage, putting the work in, putting the gloves on, and just throwing down. And I'm ready to show it off in 2 weeks.
All right, next up, Olivia, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. So I heard you were into graphic design. Do you think you'd ever be interested in making your own poster for a fight that you're on?
That would be so fun. I went to college for graphic design. That's what I
Oh,
studied that's what I studied in college.
okay.
So like I have all the background in it. I just don't ever do it for myself, honestly. I need to start.
That'd be a cool thing to do.
Yeah, it would.
All right, so if you could fight any professional fighter, that obviously that's a woman, who would it be?
Um, that's a good question. I mean, I'd love to fight Valentina Shevchenko just to share the octagon with her. I absolutely love her. But she'd definitely be a very tough fight for me. So maybe we wait on that one.
I like it. I like it. All right, so your nickname is Las Vegas, right?
Yep.
How did you get that nickname?
I got it before I even started fighting, and
Let's hear about it.
well, one of our teammates who was a 197 pounder got mono, and he had to sit out wrestling, and I was a 74, 84 pounder. I only weighed like 180-ish, and I stepped in for him for a couple of matches, and I told the coach that I weighed like more than that, so he'd let me do it. And I wrestled two like really big kids and like decked them back to back in the first period. And all my teammates were calling me Las Vegas Lido after that. And then we partied pretty hard, and then they really started calling me that after that. And yeah, that's the history of it. But it stuck. And then that was my nickname, my amateur debut, and it hasn't left.
All right, if you had to pick one submission to get overall, what would you do?
The Boston Crab.
The
Definitely.
Boston Crab. Okay, okay. And
Yeah.
how does it like? Do you get a lot of energy being on the same card as your brother? Like, I know you just fought on the same card last time, but again now.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, like I honestly wouldn't want to have it any other way. I wish our other brother would come do it with us, but I
You have a
mean,
third.
yeah, we have a third. We're working on him right now. He'll be ready eventually, but
How old?
he's 20 right now, so
Okay. All right.
he's still wrestling in college. That's the process we go through. A couple years wrestling in college, start the MMA, and then make the debut and go from there. But I mean, he'll be ready soon. But having Jack on the card, it's just a dream. Like to be able to fight in such a huge event like this for amateurs is like it's a dream come true. And I know Jack's going to do his absolute best, and it's only going to make me do so much better. And it's going to be an amazing night, and I just can't wait for it.
Are you excited for your fight?
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
What do you think's your ways to victory?
Uh, I mean, it's no secret. I'm a wrestler and grappling. That's the path to victory. But I've been working on the stand up. I'm not gonna shoot a takedown 5 seconds into the first round. I'm gonna I'm gonna prove some stuff to some people that I'm not just a wrestler who's fighting. I'm a mixed martial artist.
After you fight, after you plan to win your fight, are you going to be in the corner for your brother?
I don't know if that's allowed. If that's allowed, then yeah. But
Okay.
if not, I mean, I'll be in the crowd with my family, my friends, and I'll probably be the loudest person in there.
So your Instagram tag is decaf cappuccino.
Yeah,
What can you?
it's just like a play on my last name.
Okay. Okay. Is that what you're going to use as your nickname?
No, I definitely no nickname for me.
Okay. Okay. From Scholastic Wrestling to MMA, how was the lead up to your debut been?
Very good. I've definitely grown a lot in my wrestling, and my jujitsu has grown, and my striking has gotten a lot better. And I'm very excited to show off my skills because it's been a bit since I've competed. So very excited to show off what I've been learning.
I'm excited to see where you go, man. I went to Southern Lehigh High School. I see you went to Parkland, so we live pretty close. If you don't think you can get signed again for CFFC, another event, what are your plans then?
Um, no, I'll definitely get signed for another event. Maybe I'll have to turn pro though, because I know they don't do that many anime shows. But no, it just things happen, and I just couldn't fight, so it sucks.
Amen.
But I talked to them, and we still have a good relationship. So
6 amateur fights. Are you looking to go pro then soon, like you're saying?
yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk it over, but want to do some like kickboxing, maybe some MMA boxing fights. But it's hard for us to find MMA fights too. That's why I obviously took this one too, because we went like 8 months without being able to find a fight. So it's hard to find fights as an amateur.
Fighters, just before we wrap it up here, I'm just gonna have one final like pose here. So I'm just gonna have everyone just kind of pose for the press conference here. We'll just post it for the Instagram, and then we'll be all good to go here. Fighters, appreciate your time, and let's do it. So ready, 3, 2, 1.